In honor of me finding 2 of my first 5-star reads of the year last month, I thought that I would go back. I would take it all the way back. I would scroll through my Goodreads and I would find every book on Goodreads that I have ever read and rated a 5-star. I would tier rank them because it's been a long time, and as you guys know, I have made a few video installments of me going back in time, doing a little bit of time traveling and rereading some of my 5-star reads. So today we're going to revisit them and we're going to tier rank them through 5 tiers and see where they fit. Now, before we get into it, I know that you guys, the big question that you guys are asking, and it is, Destiny, where are those super cute glasses you're wearing on your face from? And they're from none other than Pair Eyewear, who is the kind sponsor of today's video. If you are a longtime viewer of the channel or you have just watched a few of my videos, you guys would know how much I absolutely adore Pair, and I speak from the bottom to the top of my heart when speaking about them, because if you guys even watch my vlogs, you guys know I wear them constantly, and I just got a new frame from them because recently I actually was told about how I really direly need glasses, and a lot of you guys were in the comments like, babe, we have been new this. We have been new. We see you squinting whenever you're trying to look at something. You need glasses, and Pair absolutely helped me pick the best frames for me. For me personally, hate going in store. Do not like to go into an eyeglasses store and try on the glasses in front of people. Makes me sweat, makes me anxious, don't like doing it. So I just went onto Pair's website and I browsed all of their frames and I tried their virtual try-on tool, and I saw what frames fit my face the best, and I actually decided on these, which are the Murphys, and I really like them because I like kind of like bigger glasses. There are so many different frames for you to choose from, but the customization does not stop there, everybody. You can choose your base frame, but something that Pair Eyewear does that I absolutely love are their top frames, where you can personalize your look any way that you want it. You can dress it up, dress it down, do anything that you want, and I want to show you how amazing Pair is. These are 2 top frames that I have. So this is the turquoise, and boom, all you do is just snap it on, boom. Oh, it's cute, it's summer, it's fun, it matches my shirt, literally looks so cute, vibrant whenever I'm feeling real colorful, as you guys know that I get. And they just have a little magnetic strip. That is the magic of them. I also have the same ones in blush. Boom, just snaps on there and it snaps right on off, snaps right on. Absolute magic, and something that I'm really excited for, because as I've been driving, I have noticed just how I wish I had a pair of sunglasses that were prescription. But guess what? With Pair, I don't even have to worry about that. I keep my Murphys, and these are the sun top frame. This is the tortoise sun top frame in the Murphy. Boom, snap them on. Now they're sunglasses. They're sunglasses, and I can drive and have my sunglasses and take them off whenever I need to. Oh, all this. Oh, it's gloomy. Oh, it's gloomy. Boom. Oh, sun's coming back out. Boom. It's online. It's affordable. You can customize it any way you want. I also have the blue light in these. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I spend a lot of time on the computer, so I have a lot of need for a blue light block protection. Pair Eyewear has it all for me, okay? They have so many different ranges, so many different styles to choose from. So if you guys are interested in Pair Eyewear, you guys can go visit the link down in my description, or I'm going to have up the info on the screen. You guys can use my code DESREADING15 in all caps. I'm going to have everything linked down below for you guys as well for easy access. Go get your new favorite pair of glasses today. You know, now that I have this new setup for like sit down videos where I'm using my podcast microphone, I literally feel like I'm on a radio talk show. Like I feel like I'm like, yeah, I'm like discussing with somebody, and I'm not. I'm just alone in my room. So we're in Canva because that tier ranking website just not good. So I went on Goodreads and I went through every single book that I have marked as read on my shelves, and I found which ones were rated 5 stars, and I put them on this list. They're also just completely at random. So let's get into the ranking. First of all, let me introduce you guys to the tiers. So we'll start from top to bottom. So the top, it will be a 5-star forever, I fear. I fear this will always be a 5-star no matter what stage of life I'm in, no matter what's going on. I feel like I could always pick this book up and it will always be a 5-star. Just below that is nostalgia. Will keep it a 5. There is a sense of nostalgia that is wrapped around this book that it will always make it a 5, or I will never reread it and it will just stay frozen in time as a 5-star forever. Next tier, we're a little bit lower. I won't say that we're like down, but it may be a 4, maybe a 3. Next one down, a reread would lower this rating. This is where we're kind of getting into like the 2.75, 2.5, 2-star. And then the bottom tier is, what was I thinking? Like, this is a book that I look at and I'm like, there is no way that I would reread it and it would be a 5. So with all of that being said, let's get into the tier ranking. First up, we have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Listen, I'm very conflicted because part of me is like, it will be a 5-star forever, I fear, because the writing is so good and the magicalness, and you guys know that I love the backdrop of New York City within a book, and there's not really a sense of like nostalgia around it, so I think we'll put it at, it will be a 5-star forever, I fear. Next up, 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. This is the author of The Hating Game. Here's the thing about me. My memory, my mind, if you will, it can be very good at times. Like, I can remember very unnecessary information. I remember reading this book. I remember sitting in my bed on my iPad on Libby reading this book, and I gave it a 5. Like, I would say a reread would lower this rating. This is never going to see the light of 5 stars again, babe. Next up, we have By a Thread by Lucy Score. So what was that? What was that? 100% nostalgia will keep it a 5-star. Like, not saying that if I reread it, it wouldn't hit, but I just think like the whole entire element of like it being the first book girlies collab and just the way that I felt while reading it, I kind of never want to reread it because the nostalgia around it, I don't want to like pop that bubble. From Luke Off with Love, I'll put this one in, we're a little lower. We're a little lower. I really did enjoy this book. I think it may be more in like a 4-star range. Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. This book had me shook when I read it. Like, had me shook. I think I'll put it in, we're a little lower. We're a little lower. I just don't think that like Who I Am Now, it would hit as hard. Archer's Voice. I think I'll put it in, we're a little lower. I do think this is another book that like if I gave it a reread, I don't think that it would be a 5-star. Again, I remember what clothes I was wearing. I was about to go to the movies to go watch the first Scream of the new installment, and I was reading it, and I remember literally like waiting for my boyfriend to come pick me up, and I was like rushing to finish the book because I was so hooked at what was happening at the end. But I fear that if I reread it, wouldn't have that same feeling. Shipped by Angie Hockman. What was I thinking? I've actually came back to this book multiple times within my reading career, and I have been like, why did I rate this a 5-star? It's like when I reread The Unhoneymooners, and that used to be a 5-star for me. A Little Life. It will be a 5-star forever, I fear. I actually did do a reread of A Little Life last year, and it's actually one of my most prized possessions because it is a fully annotated copy of Little Life. Like, there are so many tabs. I fear, should I grab it? You guys are so lucky that I'm so generous and kind. This is her right here. Look at how tabbed and annotated she is. But there's even like writing in the margins of these books. Like, I like annotated it like it was a piece of work for school. I fear that this will always be a 5-star. I don't think I'll ever reread it. I'll reread it at some point again in life. We got a few bangers coming up. Beach Read by Emily Henry. I'm actually rereading this month because this is my book club's book pick. If you guys didn't know, I have a book club over on Discord that is completely free. I always have it linked down below, but I also have a Patreon where you get like reading vlogs and stuff and a bunch of stuff over on my Patreon. Forever 5-star. On that same note, Happy Place by Emily Henry. Forever a 5-star. Forever 5-star. Happy Place and Beach Read, these two, lethal combo. Listen, I don't care if you're gonna tell me I hated Beach Read, I hated Happy Place. Listen, books are so subjective. That's awesome. Beach Read, Happy Place hit different. There were things within it about relationships and stuff that really hit me. Emily Henry has a way of making me feel like she has cut off my own skin and put it on one of the characters, and I'm reading it. There's that graphic piece of mentalness for you guys. Rattled by Lauren Asher. I'm gonna put this at, we're a little lower. I really did enjoy this whole entire series. Like, I really like the Dirty Air series. I don't think this would be a 5-star in today's ratings. The Love Hypothesis. I'll put it at, nostalgia will keep it a 5, but honestly, I do think also that if I reread this book, like, it would be a 5-star. I just think there's something that Ellie Hazelwood puts in between all of her pages that make her books so addicting, like her women in STEM romances. Love them. I eat them up. They are so good. She just knows what she's doing. I don't even care if you guys are like, they're cheesy and they're bad. Listen, I don't care. Pack Up the Moon. This is a really sad book. This is a super sad book that has a very sad premise. That is one of my favorite sad books that I've ever read. I don't think, though, that it would be a 5-star if I reread it, so we're going to keep it at, we're a little lower, but I do think that it would still sit within that 4-star range. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Ooh, this one, I think about quotes from this book, like, so often. I think about quotes from this book. I'll say we're a little lower just because I know that there are certain things within this book that could leave it from being a 5-star, but like the quote, I always mess this up, but it's along the lines of like, falling out of love with someone you still like is like laying in bed when your alarm's going off. Like, no matter how comfortable are you know you need to go. I think about that quote all the time. There are so many quotes within that book that are just so good. However, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, 5-star forever. 5-star forever. I also reread this last year and fully annotated it. It's so good. This book and TV show masterpiece, one of my Roman empires, if you will. Who remembers Roman empires? Okay, that felt millennial. I love it so much. Will forever be a 5-star. These characters feel so real. I love just the way that the book is written as well, that it's just all dialogue does something to my brain. They both die at the end. Ooh, y'all, I remember reading this book. I sat down in one sitting. I did not get up from my bed. It was a weekend. I was in high school and it was a weekend, and I remember waking up on a Saturday morning, opening my iPad, getting on Libby, seeing that this was available. And here's the thing about me is that this was like during that OG like book talk where it was like this, We Were Liars, It Ends With Us. You guys know the OG book talk books. It was where I was there. I remember it all too well. Okay, this one I remember all too well. I will say I'm gonna put it at nostalgia. Will keep it at 5. Listen, I'm never gonna reread this book, but nostalgia will keep it a 5-star forever. I don't think that if I reread it, it would be a 5-star. I think it would probably be like 4 or something. Throne of Glass. There's a few of these that we're saying are as a series because like just as a series, they're 5 stars. Throne of Glass series, 5-star forever. 5-star forever. I've been thinking about doing a reread of Throne of Glass because I read it for the first time last year. Changed me as a person, by the way. I've become heavily insufferable since then. It is a very, like, it's not like, I reread the ACOTAR series last year, but like that's like what? Like 4 like big books. Throne of Glass, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 huge books. Like, they get huge towards the end. Kingdom of Ash is literally almost like 1,000 pages. It's a lot to take on, but one day I will reread Throne of Glass, but forever a 5-star. November 9th. A reread would lower this rating. I remembered like some of the stuff that happened in this book. If y'all know, one of the things that I guess I would just like look over, but then again, I will say with like these early like book talk books, one, reading is subjective. Anything is an opinion. That is your opinion. That's great. People have differences of opinions. Okay. Red flags I would just look over because I would just be like, if a book could keep my attention, that's all that mattered to me. Like, and it still is all that matters to me, but like now I kind of look for like other things within reading since I do so much of it. When I rethink about some of the stuff that happened in this book, it's astonishing. The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. This one was a really good book. Nostalgia will keep it at 5 stars, but I was really hooked. Like, this book was so good. Again, but better. Y'all, this is a throwback. I read this my junior year of high school and it had me hooked. It had me hooked. Let me tell you why. When I was in high school, up until like my senior year is when I started like going back and like wanting to get books all the time at Barnes. I used to never read the synopsis of books. I would just like go, and I'm pretty sure this was like on a Barnes and Noble table, and I just like picked it up and I was like, okay, cool. Like, she goes to college and she like studying abroad. That's cool. That's fun. That's interesting to me. Picked it up, read it. Y'all, I still remember like how I felt when we got to kind of like the second half of the story. Nostalgia is keeping it a 5 star. I don't think I'll ever reread this, but truly I was like, wow, I loved it. The Maidens, I would say a reread would lower this rating because I think I remember literally even like guessing what the plot twist and stuff was going to be in this one, and this one just was not my jam. When this book came out, like right after I had read The Silent Patient, I was just like, ooh, it's the same author. Like, I just so badly wanted to be 5 stars, so I gave it a 5 stars. No. The Passengers by John Mars. This one has a very interesting premise. Cars like a Tesla and people get into it, and somebody like hacks into all of the Teslas and basically like does like a live broadcasting where they're all threatened that they're all gonna die or something. I would say we're a little lower. The Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher. I will say Nostalgia will keep it a 5 star. This is when I was like really getting into like the book talk books. Like, this is when I started reading like, The Fine Print, Addicted to You, the Off-Campus series. Like, this is like within that time span where I was kind of like reading books like that. Boys of Tommen it will be a 5-star forever, I fear. The amount of times I reread Boys of Tommen, and it has continued to stay at 5 stars. It's up there with the Addicted series for me. Like, in my brain, I love the character so much. The Summer of Broken Rules. I will say nostalgia will keep it a 5-star. Again, I remember being so obsessed and like I could not stop posting about this book. This is the Addicted Calloway Sister series. We're putting this at forever 5-star. I literally still to this day think about them so much. Love them. Love them. I actually want to reread this series, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. It will be a 5-star forever, I fear. These ones are a little bit harder to gauge because this is one of the first 5-star reads that I had of the year, and it was last month, so haven't really detached myself from them yet, but for right now, it will be a 5-star forever. This is the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. I'll say that the same thing. It will be a 5-star forever. There's something about what Elsie Silver is able to do with like the cowboy small town type romances in her series that are just, they hit. Then we have Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I'm gonna say nostalgia will keep it a 5-star just because like that time where I was reading Crescent City for the first time, and even when I reread it this year, like, and I was so excited for Crescent City 3, which biggest letdown of the year, I would say that, and Funny Story. I don't know, just the way I was feeling about like reading all of these books is very nostalgic for me. Malibu Rising. Ooh, y'all, this one's good. I've like debated on rereading this one. I'm kind of in between putting it at nostalgia will keep it a 5. I think that's where it's gonna go because I read this one. I graduated high school, and then that summer I went on a vacation with my family, and I remember reading this on the car ride home, and I just remember so vividly reading this book in one sitting in the car ride, and it was so good. Like, I was just so, like, no one talked to me. Like, people, they were trying to talk to me in the car. No. The kiss quotient, I would say we're a little lower. I think I just remember being like really liking the guy, like, in this book. Like, I really liked him, and I liked the couple together, and I liked their like chemistry together. The Deal, nostalgia's keeping it a 5. Oh my gosh, this book kind of changed me, honestly, as a person. No, not that dramatic, but did get me into like the sports romances and stuff. Garrett Graham was like a hyperfixation for me for such a long time. I could not shut up about him. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I don't reread thrillers, so I think it will be a 5-star forever because I don't reread thrillers because I already know what happened, so I have no use in rereading them. This one was so good and it really got me. Same thing with Love in Other Words. Y'all, this one, I've even reread it and it just always hits. I love them so much. Like, it's not even funny. The Silent Patient, again, I feel like I already kind of talked about The Silent Patient when I talked about The Maiden, and it's kind of the same thing with Rock, Paper, Scissors, where it's like, I'm never going to go back and reread it, so it gets to be put at, it will be a 5-star forever because of the way that it made me feel as a thriller that I don't feel very often at all with thrillers, okay? The Inheritance Game series. I will also put this at nostalgia. We'll keep it a 5-star. This is just a very nostalgic part of my life of me really loving this series. It is a very good series and I always recommend it. Same thing with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is the book that I always credit that got me back into reading was this book. It is so good, such a beautiful story, and again, I remember just being so obsessed and like wanting to tell everybody about it. Fourth Wing. I think I'm also gonna put this at nostalgia. We'll keep it a 5-star because if y'all were here, this was like last May, actually. This was last May. Oh my gosh, it's giving, what is that Kendall or Kylie that does, like, this is Coachella 2016 or however, whatever year she said. But no, this was last year in May. The first run print of Fourth Wing. One, everybody was talking about Fourth Wing. I still don't know what they were putting in our air vents to make everybody talk about it because I thought it was a good book. It's not revolutionary though. Like, I don't know why we were all like freaking out about it. But also the first run print with the sprayed edges with the dragon on it. I remember everybody was freaking out. Like, they were like, I have to get it. The book was sold out everywhere. I wanted a physical copy of the book. Like, I was like going crazy. Just that, it's very nostalgic. Like, that whole entire, like, everybody talking about it and everybody going crazy over it online will always keep it at a 5-star for me. The Hating Game, a reread would lower this rating because it did. The Last Word, we're gonna also put it at, it will be a 5-star forever because, again, just the same thing that I said about the other thrillers in this category. I don't reread thrillers, but this was one where I was like, yes, it's giving the like thrilling aspect. What is going to happen? I'm on the edge of my seat. It felt like a a scary movie. It literally felt like a scary movie, and that's what I ask for in my thrillers, in this kind of subgenre of like, it's thrilling in the sense that like somebody's inside your house type of thing. If y'all have good recommendations for like that, like imagine the movie Scream, like if you guys have good thriller recommendations that kind of fit that vibe of like somebody's after you, I would like those. Opposite of Always, y'all, I remember I read this like my sophomore or junior year of high school, and this one, oh, it had me. Nostalgia's gonna keep this one a 5-star. Like, I never talk about it, but it like deals with like time travel, and he just like keeps going back in time to save this girl that he's in love with. And y'all, it's young adult, and it ate. And I never even see this at Barnes. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I'm gonna put this at We're a Little Lower. I just remember this being like my first Mariana Zapata book, and I was so excited to be included in something on TikTok, so I rated it a 5-star, but definitely We're a Little Lower. There's Someone Inside Your House. This is what I'm talking about, where this is a thriller and it's young adult, which I couldn't believe that this one was young adult. Also, don't watch the Netflix movie because they butchered this. They butchered it. Oh my god, the book is so much better. But I remember it getting like graphic sometimes, talking about like the scenes and stuff in this book, because it was a little crazy. We're gonna put it in We're a Little Lower. I definitely don't think if I reread it, it would be a 5-star, but it is one of my favorite young adult thrillers because it gives that like thrilling feeling that I get from like Scream and stuff like that. Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Well, you guys know where we're putting it. We're putting it at 5-star forever. This was my first 5-star that I found this year. Also, just slaps. The Naturals. I would put this at Nostalgia is going to keep this a 5-star because I read this last summer as well, and just it was just nostalgic for me. Say You Swear. Ooh, I really don't know where to put this. I'm gonna say will be a 5-star forever. Listen, this is like giving Wattpad, but in the best way, like where sometimes I really crave like a Wattpad feeling book. Okay, last 2 books. Daisy hates The Great Undoing specifically because no other book within like the Magnolia Parks series, Daisy hates or Magnolia Parks, has been a 5-star for me. The Great Undoing, you know where we're putting it. We're putting it right here, folks. We're putting it right on over there. 5-star forever. Oh my, sometimes like just to feel something, I'll flip through that book. Last, but certainly not least, ACOTAR, the series. And you know what? 5-star forever. 5-star forever. This series changed my life, changed who I am as a person, got me really, really into fantasy, and I really love it. So this is my 5-star tier ranking of all of the books that I have on my Goodreads of my 5 stars. Read them and weep, guys. This is where we're at. It was nice to go down memory lane and see what books I'd rated a 5 stars and where they're at now. I do think because when I did that last year where I really, hey, so there are birds right outside my window in their nest. Just let them do what they're doing. This is their world. You guys are gonna deal with it for a little bit. But I have decided that unless it's like Beach Read, Happy Place, like books that I know that like did something within me, that they're a 5-star and forever would be like that top tier. I just decided that I'm not really gonna reread my 5 stars because I remember when I made that video, people said this in the comments, and then I was like, you know what? You guys are right, because sometimes the object of them being a 5-star at that specific time of your life, like that's just what they are. And just keep them there because it's almost kind of sweet and endearing that like that used to be your book taste, and now you can like look back and be like, that's not my book taste anymore, but I love her. You know, like I love her, all of these 5 stars that she had. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff that you guys know how to do. Thank you so much again to Pair Eyewear for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you guys when I see ya. Peace.